There are needs all around us, troubles that God can solve. And He wants to do that through His church, through His people. And we have so much potential, so much opportunity as we come together and support one another and encourage one another that, yes, we are in this together. And we do need each other. And we can link arms with one another. We in the Church of Jesus Christ in this community are not competing for the souls of men. We're competing only against the works of darkness, that the angel of light, the power of Jesus, will come by His glory and He will reveal Himself to mankind. We have opportunity to fill all our churches with the potential that's out there. And God wants to do that in every one of our houses of worship. I'm hopeful. I have a sense of a dream in my heart of what God wants to do. I have great dreams of what God can do to change our community and reach into our world and set people free. I read the scriptures and find that Jesus said, go into the highways and the byways and compel them to come in so that my house might be full. God's covetous of His house being full. He has a desire to see everyone come to worship Him, for He knows that He can help every man and woman, every young person, every boy and girl come to the fullness of who He's created them to be, if they'll only understand His great mercy and love for them. He wants us to go and compel them to come in. I started thinking about who's out there in our highways and byways. Do we want those people in our church? Because the people that are out there are a bunch of liars. There's a bunch of people out there that are thieves. There's a bunch of people out there that are messed up on drugs. There's a bunch of alcoholics out there. You know, there's a bunch of people that are adulterers out there. There's a bunch of prostitutes out there. And sometimes in the church, I wonder if we're ready to go out and say, hey, you need to come in and be a part of what God is doing right here. Because when they do, they'll change. And they'll become a part of what the Corinthian church became a part of. Such were some of you, but now you've been washed. Now you've been cleansed. Now you've been justified by the power of my God and by the word of the Lord. His Spirit will change us. Who do you want in your church? I started to wonder that. Are the people sitting in the pews that I'm talking to every week willing to go out and compel those ones that are unwanted and say, oh no, we want you. God wants you. We want you. So who do you want in your church? That's the question of the day. Who do you want in your church? I want the prostitutes in my church. I want the homosexuals in my church. I want the liars in my church. I want the murderers in my church. I want the drug addicts in my church. I want the alcoholics in my church. I want every one of them to come into my church. I want to go into the highways and the byways and compel them, because if they get in there, they ain't going to stay that way for long. The Spirit of God will change them from the inside out. But we got to be willing to say, come on in. Come on in. We'll embrace you and we will love you. What if they don't have their suit and tie on? No big deal. They'll come on in the way they are, and it won't be long, they'll be putting one on. Jesus has the power. What if they got tattoos from head to foot? No big deal. They'll just put clothes on and won't know the difference. The Spirit of God will come on every single individual, no matter what the past is. Every person has a past. But what we need to know is that we've got a present that is cleansed and purified by our God, and a future that is secured by His holy name. Here's a question for you. Who do you want in your church? Who do you want in your church? Who do you want in your church? Is it only all the ones that are already saved and sanctified? That's not going to cut it. No, He's called us saved and sanctified ones to go out there and find those that aren't and say, hey, come on in. You belong in this house. And God will move upon them, and He will change them by His power. I have a dream for that. I have a dream for that.